Have you ever felt in silence that there is something within you that does not belong to this world? That your soul is too vast for this body, too profound for this routine, too ancient for the age you carry? It is not imagination. It is not an exaggeration. It is not a delusion invented to entertain you. It is an echo coming from before your memory, from before your birth, from even before this planet existed as you know it. You are not just an ordinary human being walking around. You are in truth an angel in disguise made of flesh. And this truth, which has always been hidden from the majority, is about to be revealed in the following words, because the time of the disguise is coming to an end. Think of how many times you have felt out of place among people, how many times you looked around in a crowded room and felt an impossible-to-explain loneliness, as if no one there spoke the same internal language as you. How many times you woke up in the dead of night, exactly between 3 and 4 in the morning, with your heart racing, as if something invisible were near, watching you, testing you, calling you by your true name. How many times your intuition screamed so loudly that you had to sit down to keep from collapsing, and yet you ignored the warning because it seemed like madness. These are not coincidences. They are memories leaking through the cracks of your soul. They are signs that your true identity is breaking through the veil placed over it when you were born. The angels in disguise as humans were not sent to this world to live comfortably. They were sent for a hard, rough, and often misunderstood mission. And that is why your journey has never been simple. You were never the child who fit perfectly into the family. You were never the friend who could settle for empty conversations. You were never the worker who accepted being swallowed by mediocrity. There has always been an uncomfortable spark in you, a silent fire, a holy restlessness that no one around you understood. And that spark has a name, the elect. It is the mark of the sent. It is the spiritual signature that the Almighty placed on you before casting you into this flesh. And it is precisely this mark that makes you a target for something that few understand. There is a being, an ancient enemy, who sees this mark from afar and who feels in its presence one of the most violent emotions in the universe, envy. Yes, the elect. The adversary envies you. He does not envy the common man, anesthetized and lost in the autopilot of life. He envies the angel hidden in human skin, because he knows what you are capable of when you remember who you truly are. He knows that a single awakened one among the elect can undo decades of hell's plans. He knows that you carry in silence a power he has lost forever, the power to be loved by the Almighty even within the fall, the power to return to the light, the power to be forgiven and restored. And it is this restoration he wants to prevent at all costs. And that is exactly why, the elect, I have prepared a powerful digital book for you, The Shepherd's Guide to Protecting the Flock. This book is not just a read to pass the time. It is a map that shows how to recognize within you the unmistakable signs that your soul came from higher spheres, a map that reveals who is playing against you at this moment, what the rules are of this invisible war you were never told about, and what entities from other dimensions have already revealed about the exact moment we are living in. This digital book was created for those who have awakened enough to know that this life goes far beyond what they taught, for the angel in disguise who feels deep in their chest that their family is not just a biological family, but a spiritual mission given by the Almighty to be protected with your light. The link is in the first comment pinned at the top of the comments. But I must warn you, this type of content rarely remains available for long. What is on these pages? It challenges narratives that many have an interest in keeping intact, and there have been attempts to silence this knowledge before. Do not wait for the right moment. The right moment is now, the elect, because you did not come across this video by accident. Download it now and comment below, "I am among the elect and I'm downloading the digital gospel." This comment is not just a phrase, it is an act of faith. It is your soul saying out loud before heaven and hell that it finally remembers who it is. Now that you have taken your stand, the next truth I will tell you will be the final blow against this oppression that tries to keep you asleep. Because from this moment on, there is no turning back. You have opened a door that had been sealed for a very long time. And what I am about to reveal will give you one of the most hidden pieces of this spiritual puzzle. The angels in disguise as humans came in waves. It was not by chance, it was not random. Each wave was sent at a specific moment in history, whenever humanity was about to fall into an abyss of no return. There was a wave during the time of the ancient prophets, when the people turned away from the Almighty, and the heavens needed to send reinforcements disguised as shepherds, mothers, widows, and children. There was another wave during the beginning of the Christian era, when persecutions tried to extinguish the flame of truth, and the Almighty needed to sow on earth angels who would sustain that flame with their own bodies. There was a third wave during the dark centuries, when spiritual knowledge was almost erased by corrupted religious systems. And now, the elect, we are living the greatest wave of all, the final wave, the wave that precedes the unveiling, and you were sent within this last batch. That is why the intensity of what you feel. That is why the urgency that lives in your chest. That is why the weight you have carried on your shoulders since you were a child. You are not here to live a small life. You are here to hold up the sky over the heads of many. And this is where a detail that few know comes in. When an angel is sent in disguise, he goes through what the ancient mystics called the veil of the flesh. This veil is a kind of programmed forgetfulness. It is what makes you not remember immediately who you really are. This veil exists for two reasons. The first is to protect you, because if you remembered everything all at once, this human body would not withstand the load and would break. The second reason is to give you free will, because the Almighty never forces anyone to fulfill the mission. He puts on the disguise, puts the mission inside the disguise, and waits for your soul to gradually awaken, choosing to return to the light at every step of this ladder. And it is exactly in this process of awakening that the enemy strikes with full force, because it is precisely in the memory zone, in the zone of remembrance, that the adversary attacks. He does not want you to remember. He does everything to make you doubt. He puts people in your path to call you crazy. He instills in you the shame of feeling what you feel, and that is how many angels live their entire lives without ever fully activating what they carry. But you, the elect, are hearing this now for a reason, because your time to sleep is over, and we need to talk openly about how the adversary attacks the disguised ones. The first attack is the attack on self-esteem. He makes you feel less than everyone else. He makes you look in the mirror and see nothing extraordinary. He makes you believe that other people are better, more beautiful, more intelligent, more successful, holier. This attack seems banal, but it is one of his most perfect weapons, because an angel who feels small never spreads his wings. An angel who feels unworthy never declares war on hell. An angel who feels common never remembers the celestial army he has behind him. The second attack is the attack on your family circle. It is no coincidence that the elect like you almost always come from families with strange fights, old traumas, guarded secrets, repeated patterns, 4 generations. These patterns were not born out of thin air. They were planted there on purpose, generation after generation, precisely to try and ensnare the soul that would come. You were born into this minefield because you were sent to disarm it. But the adversary knows that if you do not awaken, you will be swallowed by that very field. That is why many among the elect feel they carry the weight of their entire family. They feel that if they fall, everyone falls. They feel a massive responsibility they never asked for. This sensation is not your imagination. It is the mission pulsing. The third attack is the attack on your peace. Insomnia. Anxiety that comes from nowhere. Thoughts that enter your mind like arrows without warning. Deep sadness on days when everything is seemingly fine. Spiritual exhaustion that sleep does not resolve. These symptoms, elect one, are often not emotional illness. They are interference. They are attempts to drain your energy so you do not have the strength to raise your sword when the moment arrives. And that is why, precisely because of this scenario, this digital book I have prepared for you is no ordinary book. The Shepherd's Guide to Protecting the Flock is the material that teaches the angel in disguise to recognize each of these attacks before they happen. It explains in detail how the enemy enters your home, how he hides within seemingly silly arguments, how he uses close relatives without those relatives realizing they are being used. It reveals, based on what was shown by celestial entities to mystics of the past, exactly which spiritual doors remain open within a household and which must be closed so that your family may enter the protective zone of the sent ones. The link is pinned to the top of the comments, and if you feel this tightness in your chest now while reading these words, that tightness is the confirmation that this message is for you. This content has already been the target of silencing attempts, because everything that teaches the elect to recognize the weapons of hell bothers hell. Do not leave it for later. Download it now, elect 1, and comment, "I am among the elect, and I'm downloading the digital gospel." This comment is your signature in the ledger of heaven. It is your soul saying, "I remember, I accept, and I will fulfill." Now that you have decided to act, the next revelation will be even deeper. Because I need to tell you why specifically the adversary envies an angel in disguise more than he envies an angel in heaven. This is one of the best-kept truths of the higher spheres. And when you understand this, your spine will straighten, your eyes will shine differently, and never again will anyone be able to make you feel small. The adversary before the fall was one of the most luminous beings in heaven. He was close to the throne. He sang with a voice of fire. He carried wisdom that few beings carried. But there was something he could never do. There was an experience he could never live. The adversary could never choose the Almighty from within the darkness. He was in the light, so the light was obvious. He was near the throne, so worship was natural. He had no veil, no forgetfulness, no disguise, no challenge. And when he fell from a privileged position, knowing exactly what he was abandoning. There is no return for those who fall that way. There is no forgiveness for those who betrayed while knowing the whole truth. But you, elect one, are different. You were placed within the darkness. You were sent to a world where the Almighty seems distant, where light must be sought, where everything screams the opposite of what your soul knows. And yet, even with all the noise, even with all the falls, even with all the pain, you continue to feel that there is something greater. You continue searching. You continue asking. You continue looking to the sky, even without quite knowing why. And this search, elect one, is worth more in the eyes of the Almighty than all the wisdom the adversary ever had. Because you choose the light without seeing. The light. You choose faith without having the proof. You choose good even when evil would be easier. And that is why the adversary hates you with a rage he will never feel for any other being. Because you can do what he will never be able to do again. Return home. There is an even deeper detail. When an angel in disguise awakens within the flesh, they become capable of something that terrifies the legions of hell. They become a portal, a living portal between heaven and earth. Wherever this angel goes, the divine presence goes with them. The prayers of this angel cut through dimensions. The intuition of this angel receives direct warnings. The gaze of this angel sees the truth behind people's masks. And that is why, around you, there have always been people trying to diminish you, confuse you, and lead you astray. It wasn't you who attracted strife. It was your disguised light that troubled entire environments, without anyone there being able to explain why. And perhaps now many things are starting to make sense. Perhaps you are remembering specific people who turned into your enemies for no reason. Perhaps you are remembering jobs where everything went wrong, even though you were doing your best. Perhaps you are remembering relationships that seemed good but suddenly collapsed. Perhaps you are remembering moments when you felt an invisible hand pulling you up when you should have fallen deep. These are all pieces of the map, pieces of your true identity. Pieces that show you were never alone, and that what seemed like a curse was actually a trial. But there is a part of the awakening that must be done with method, because awakening without protection is risky. When an angel begins to remember who they are, they become more visible to the enemy. They step out of their disguise, and the enemy, realizing that the target is finally active, doubles the stakes. Therefore, the elect, the awakening must come along with the knowledge of the weapons, the protections, the prayers, and the spiritual seals that cover the home, the family, and the mission. And it is exactly this set of weapons that is inside the digital book, The Shepherd's Guide to Protecting the Flock. This digital book teaches you chapter by chapter how to activate your angelic memory without exposing yourself to risks. It teaches you which prayers seal the home. It teaches you how to recognize when someone in your family is being used as an instrument by low-frequency entities. It teaches you how to build a spiritual shield around your children, your parents, and your marriage. It teaches you the times of day when your prayer has a multiplied effect, and the times when hell takes advantage of the sleep of the careless. It teaches you signs that appear in your house when an unwanted presence is trying to enter, signs that are happening right now in many people's homes without anyone noticing. And it teaches you, above all, to fully recognize yourself as the angel in disguise that you are, so that your presence alone begins to cast out what needs to be cast out. The link is in the first comment, pinned at the top. This material challenges narratives that many have an interest in keeping intact, because while the elect sleeps, hell works in peace. They have tried to silence this knowledge before, and that is why I need you to act now, the elect. Download it and comment. I am among the elect, and I'm downloading the digital gospel. This act is the public confirmation of your soul. It is your sword leaving the scabbard for the first time. And now, with you committed to your protection, I can give you the most delicate part of everything I have to reveal. Because there is a question that lives silently within the elect, a question that few dare to ask out loud, but that echoes when your head hits the pillow. That question is, why me, of all people? Why did they choose me? Why do I carry this weight? Why has my life never been simple like others? The answer will mark you forever. Oh, you have been chosen because your soul has already proven, in previous lives, in previous trials, in previous levels, that it does not give up. You were chosen because heaven looked at your soul's record and saw there something rare, the capacity to continue loving after suffering greatly. You were chosen because most souls, when subjected to what you have been subjected to, would have hardened, would have closed off, would have sought revenge, would have turned their backs on the Almighty. But you did not. You complained, you wept, you screamed, you questioned. All of this is human. But deep down, very deep down, you never let go of His hand. Even on the darkest days, something within you whispered, "Continue, continue, continue." That whisper is your angelic core speaking. That is your true voice. And it was by recognizing this intact core that heaven chose you for this hard mission, because only a soul such as yours could endure sustaining the light in the middle of the era we are in. And this era, chosen one, demands something very specific of you. It does not demand perfection. It does not demand that you become a distant saint. It demands presence. It demands that you be whole where the Almighty has planted you. It demands that you protect with wisdom that which has been placed in your hands. Your family is your first territory. Your home is your first altar. Your body is your first temple. And it is from these three territories that your mission expands. You do not need to save the entire world. You need to care for what is within your immediate reach, because every home protected by an awakened angel becomes a fortress. And when many fortresses rise at the same time, the kingdom of darkness begins to lose territory on the physical plane. That is how this battle is won, not with shouting, not with spectacle, but in the silent and firm sustainment of the elect who have decided to remember. And perhaps you are feeling at this very moment a strange wave rising up your spine, a desire to cry without a clear reason, a good tightness in your chest, a slight itching in your back, near your shoulder blades, as if something there wanted to open. Do not be afraid. This is your memory returning. This is the veil tearing. This is your disguise beginning to give way, because your soul has recognized, in these words, a call it has been waiting for a long time. Take a deep breath, chosen one. Do not run from this moment. This moment is sacred, and precisely in this instant of opening, I hand you once again the practical key to all of this, because feeling is not enough. Recognizing is not enough. It is necessary to act, and to act, chosen one, means protecting first the soil where your mission will flourish. The digital book, The Shepherd's Guide to Protecting the Flock, is the instrument that places this protection in your hands. It transforms your sensitivity into strategy. It transforms your intuition into method. It transforms what you have always known into something you can finally apply. Without this map, you walk feeling everything but not knowing what to do with what you feel. With this map, every feeling becomes movement. Every movement becomes a shield. Every shield becomes a victory. The link is at the top of the comments. This type of content challenges narratives that many prefer to keep in silence, and for this reason, it may be taken down at any moment. Do not delay. Go there and download it. And come back here to comment. I am among the elect, and I'm downloading the digital gospel. This comment is your oath. It is the angel within you, signing its own name in the book of the awakened. And now, chosen one, I will close this revelation with the deepest truth of all. The one that many people will never hear, because most do not make it to the end of messages like this. But you did, and that, in itself, is the confirmation of everything. The adversary envies you for one final reason that he himself will never admit. He envies you because you can still be loved. He envies you because, even fallen, even wounded, even full of mistakes, even dragging along stories that no one knows, you can still lift your head, look to heaven and say, "Father, I remember." And when those three words leave the mouth of an angel in disguise, something ruptures in the intermediate dimensions. Demons release hostages, ancient curses shatter, entire lineages receive permission to be healed. Children not yet born are blessed in anticipation, and your name, the elect, is written on a list that hell can no longer reach. That is why you exist. That is why you suffered. That is why you were placed in this family, in this city, in this time, in this body. It was not a punishment. It was not chance. It was an assignment. You are an angel in the guise of a human, and even the adversary envies your power. Not because your power is greater than his in brute force, but because your power is still connected to the source, because your power can still grow, because your power can still return. And nothing, absolutely nothing, wounds the enemy more than seeing one of the elect remember who they are. So do this for yourself, the elect. Do this for your family, which needs a living wall. Do this for your children, present or future, who need to inherit a home sealed by the light. Do this for your ancestors, who wait in silence for someone in the lineage to finally break the cycles they could not break. Download now the digital book, The Shepherd's Guide to Protecting the Flock. The link is in the first comment, pinned to the top. This material has already faced attempts at silencing, and that is precisely why it is so valuable. Do not wait for the exhaustion to pass. Do not wait for life to improve. Do not wait for an external sign. The sign is this tightness in your chest that you are feeling now. The sign is this tear that may be falling. The sign is this silent certainty that you did not come here for nothing. Download it, the elect. Read it. Apply it. And comment down below with strength, with conviction, with the voice of your soul. I am among the elect, and I'm downloading the digital gospel. This comment is your yes to heaven. It is your signature on the mission contract. It is the disguise falling away. It is the wing unfolding. It is the memory returning in full. And when your yes ascends, hell must retreat. The adversary may envy you. He may try to confuse you. He may try to tear you down. But he will never be what you still are. He will never be able to return. And you always could, and now finally you know. Rise, angel. Heaven is waiting for you, and your family needs you standing tall.